Alright, so we move on to Empire turn 3. Starting in the right-hand section, his Knights of the White Wolf rally. The detachment that was on the hill, they had failed their panic test because I beat a unit nearby, and they failed their panic. And actually, in hindsight, that may have been incorrect because we beat a detachment, and I don't think detachments ever cause panic. So, anyway, they rallied. Um, his swordsman charged my men-at-arms. I held, and he didn't have enough room to make it, so that's a failed charge there. And other than that, he didn't do anything. He just plans on shooting at me, which is not a bad plan. If you look at the very top middle, his small detachment over here rallied, and you can see how he's lining up his knights on the and outriders on the left. So he killed 4 out of the 9 models in that unit. So I think his plan to shoot me worked out fairly nicely. And we go to Brett turn 3. So on the right hand side, my questy knights go ahead and charge his Knights of the White Wolf again. You see I brought my fast cav who had overran previously and moved them around the hill. So I declared a charge with my men-at-arms and my knights errant at his swordsman, thinking, quite frankly, that he would hold, I would beat him, and my knights errant would overrun into the war machine. And so I charged my battle standard bearer out of the Knights of the Realm unit to lock them in combat, so that if my knights errant hit them, we would be able to fight that combat and move on. I didn't want to beat the swordsman, overrun into to his artillery, and then have to fight it on his turn, because by then he'd be flank charging me with something. So when I charged his swordsman, he chose to flee, fled right off the board, and so it left my guys there ready for a countercharge by his big unit of inner circle knights. But I was thinking, if he does it, there's really no choice. I'm just going to have to flee, but if I flee, he'll be set up for a countercharge by my Knights of the Realm. So that's what I was thinking there. And over here I have my Relique. They just need to hold. And I positioned them such that I thought that his knights on the left would be my front. And when you look at it from this angle, it looks like that. But when it came time to charge and we looked at it closer, he ended up being my flank. So it's kind of interesting. So Brett turn 3. On the right-hand side, my questy knights beat his Knights of the White Wolf, overran. They're actually off the table where that red marker is. We just have them set up where they are because my opponent didn't want to accidentally knock them off the table. And the battle standard bearer beat the war machine and ran off the board. And he's laying down because that thing is top heavy and didn't want it falling off the table. So there's another look at the board. So Empire turn 4, just like we thought, his big unit of inner circle knights charged my knights errant. I chose to flee, and they would have also hit my men-at-arms, so they chose to flee as well. And I think I have pretty good odds of rallying there. My knights errant are going to need an 8, and if they rally, then the men-at-arms will need an 8 as well. So I think I'm looking pretty good for that countercharge. At least at the time, I was thinking that should be a done deal, or at least that's as good as I can hope for. And over here, you can see his knights charge my Relique. I'm stubborn 8. I don't care if he kills, if he puts wounds on this unit. I just need them to hold because I don't need these knights coming over and helping in those other combats. And whoa, these guys, these guys put a hurting on me. Took the unit down, well, like you can see, just really, really put a hurting on my guys. So Brett turn 4. So I declare a charge into the flank of his inner circle knights. My knights errant decide they don't want to rally and proceed to run 1,000,000 inches off the board. So that really hurts. Big unit of knights run off. But the peasants rally. The fast cav in the top, they charged that detachment inside, and the detachment ended up being kind of a hassle because when my questy knights came back on the board, I really couldn't get around them. And so having them there really, really hurt me. And of course, I don't have any troops alive over here except for that relic, so they're just hoping they hold out, and they don't. He killed him to a man, or no, judging by where he's at, he must have just beat him in combat and then chased him down. If memory serves, I thought he killed him to a man, in which case he shouldn't have overrun because this is my turn. But whatever, it doesn't matter. The bad news is, if you look at that combat, my knights charged in and did 0 wounds. And so he had outnumber, he had a banner, and it was the war banner. And my guys had a banner and a flank, so I actually lost that combat. And at that point I'm thinking, you know what, I don't know what to do in that situation. You line up a flank charge with the unit of cavalry, I don't know what else to do there. So Empire turn 5, he gets a rear charge with his cavalry, and my guys are in a world of hurt. But it looked kind of cool at least. My battle standard bearer is back on the board, so at least I get a reroll for my break test because I know I'm going to lose combat. Brett turn 5. So the guys actually held. That last picture was at the end of combat. So they held, and so I decided to take my peasants into the rear of that knight unit, which isn't necessarily a smart move. In doing it, I thought it would give me outnumber and a +2 rear flank bonus. And I'm just hoping that with all the horse and human attacks that he can direct backwards, he doesn't kill enough of my guys to make the other combat res worthless. I also decided to take a chance and go ahead and throw my BSB in the combat at the top, because he's going to have 3 strength 5 attacks, he's got the Sword of Might, and plus the extra combat res of the BSB. So just really kind of going for broke, hoping to get lucky, because if I don't make it, I'm just if I don't break him, I'm in a world of trouble. So there's another look at that battle. Put my fast cav up there just to make sure that if my BSB holds, that his great swords don't come into his flank, and although it would have been a pretty funny daisy chain looking combat there. And this is also where his detachment that was in the way of my Question Knights really hurt me, because had my Question Knights been able to come over this far when they came on the board, on this turn they could have charged. So yeah, that was just kind of unlucky. These guys are over here just shooting at his fast cav. I think I killed his outriders. I think I killed one of them. And at the end of combat, it worked kinda, but he still won. My peasants passed their break test. My knights in the middle with the damsel passed their break test. My BSB failed and ran off the board. So that's not good. Empire turn 6. You can see basically what's going on. There's nothing less for him to do except just, finally win that combat. He hit his outriders, so I quit shooting at him. But his crossbowmen shooting archers kill an absolute ton of them. They fail their break test, or their panic test. He wins combat, which he really should have done a couple turns ago, but didn't catch my knights. I'm thinking this is great. Their leadership 8. There's no musician, but on an 8 I can rally that unit and save half points for everything there. And it's really as good as I can hope for. I still have my trebuchet shooting as well as some archers. So if I can land a rock on one of those knight units, I might be able to panic it and get him fleeing with no time to rally. And I can take my Question Knights into his great swords, hopefully win combat, get lucky on his fail is stubborn, and I might be able to salvage something out of this. But that unit decided not to rally. They ran off the board. I missed everything at the trebuchet. I charge in with my Question Knights into the great swords and kill a bunch of them, but they hold. So there it is at the end of the game. Yet another win for the Empire. Stunning defeat by the Bretonnians. We're getting pretty good at it. Hope you enjoyed it.